A Passage to India, Chapter 7, Part 3. But the host wouldn't allow the conversation to take this heavy turn. He turned to the old lady, who looked flustered and put out, he could not imagine why, and asked about her own plans. She replied that she should like to see over the college. Everyone immediately rose with the exception of Professor Godbole, who was finishing a banana. "Don't you come too, Adela. You dislike institutions." "Yes, that is so," said Miss Quested, and sat up again. Aziz hesitated. His audience was splitting up. The more familiar half was going, but the more attentive remained. Reflecting that it was an unconventional afternoon, he stopped. Talk went on as before. Could one offer the visitors unripe mangoes in a fool? "I speak now as a doctor, no?" Then the old man said, "But I will send you up a few healthy sweets. I will give myself that pleasure." "Miss Quested, Professor Godbole's sweets are delicious," said Aziz sadly, for he wanted to send sweets too, and had no wife to cook them. "They will give you a real Indian treat. Ah, in my poor position, I can give you nothing." "I don't know why you say that, when you have so kindly asked us to your house." He thought again of his bungalow with horror. Good heavens, the stupid girl had taken him at his word. What was he to do? "Yes, all that is settled," he cried. "I invite you all to see me in the Marabar Caves." "I shall be delighted." "Oh, that is a most magnificent entertainment compared to my poor sweets. But has not Miss Quested visited our caves already?" "No, I've not even heard of them." "Not heard of them?" both cried. "The Marabar Caves in the Marabar Hills?" "We hear nothing interesting up at club, only tennis and ridiculous gossip." The old man was silent, perhaps feeling that it was unseemly of her to criticize her race, perhaps fearing that if he agreed, she would report him for disloyalty. But the young man uttered a rapid, "I know." "Then tell me everything you will, or shall I never understand India? Are they the hills I sometimes see in the evening? What are these caves?" Aziz undertook to explain, but it presently appeared that he had never visited the caves himself, had always been meaning to go, but work or private business had prevented him, and they were so far. Professor Godbole chaffed him pleasantly. "My dear young sir, the pot and the kettle. Have you ever heard of that useful proverb?" "Are they large caves?" she asked. "No, not large." "Do describe them, Professor Godbole." "It will be a great honor." He drew up his chair, and an expression of tension came over his face. Taking the cigarette box, she offered to him and to Aziz, and lit up herself. After an impressive pause, he said, "There is an entrance in the rock which you enter, and through the entrance is the cave." "Something like the caves at Elephanta?" "Oh, no, not at all. At Elephanta there are sculptures of Siva and Parvati." "There are no sculptures at Marabar." "They are immensely holy, no doubt," said Aziz, to help on the narrative. "Oh no, oh no." "Still, they are ornamented in some way." "Oh no." "Well, why are they so famous? We all talk about the famous Marabar caves. Perhaps that is our empty brag." "No, I should not quite say that." "Describe them to this lady, then." "It will be a great pleasure." He forewent the pleasure, and Aziz realized that he was keeping back something about the caves. He realized because he often suffered from similar inhibitions himself. Sometimes, to the exasperation of Major Calendar, he would pass over the one relevant fact in a position, to dwell on the 100 irrelevant. The major accused him of disingenuousness and was roughly right, but only roughly. It was rather that a power he couldn't control capriciously silenced his mind. Godball had been silenced now. No doubt, not willingly, he was concealing something. Handled subtly, he might regain control and announce that the Marbar caves were full of stalactites, perhaps. Aziz led up to this, but they weren't. The dialogue remained light and friendly, and Adela had no conception of its underdrift. She did not know that the comparatively simple mind of the Mohammedan was encountering ancient night. Aziz played a thrilling game. He was handling a human toy that refused to work. He knew that much. If it worked, neither he nor Professor Godball would be the least advantaged. But the attempt enthralled him and was akin to abstract thought. On he chattered, defeated at every move by an opponent who would not even admit that a move had been made. And further than ever from discovering what, if anything, was extraordinary about the Marbar caves. Into this, Ronnie dropped. With an annoyance he took no trouble to conceal, he called from the garden. "What's happened to Fielding? Where's my mother?" "Good evening," she replied coolly. "I want you and Mother at once. There's to be polo." "I thought there was to be no polo." "Everything's altered. Some soldier men have come in. Come along and I'll tell you about it." "Your mother will return shortly, sir," said Professor Godball, who had risen with deference. "There is but little to see at our poor college." Ronnie took no notice, but continued to address his remarks to Adela. He had hurried away from his work to take her to see the polo, because he thought it would give her pleasure. He did not mean to be rude to the two men, but the only link he could be conscious of with an Indian was the official, and neither happened to be his subordinate. As private individuals, he forgot them. Unfortunately, Aziz was in no mood to be forgotten. He would not give up the secure and intimate note of the last hour. He had not risen with Godball, and now, offensively friendly, called from his seat. "Come along up and join us, Mr. Heaslop. Sit down till your mother turns up." Ronnie replied by ordering one of Fielding's servants to fetch his master at once. "He may not understand that. Allow me." Aziz repeated the order idiomatically. Ronnie was tempted to retort. He knew the type. He knew all the types. And this was the spoilt westernized. But he was a servant of the government. It was his job to avoid incidents. So he said nothing and ignored the provocation that Aziz continued to offer. Aziz was provocative. Everything he said had an impertinent flavor or jarred. His wings were failing, but he refused to fall without a struggle. He did not mean to be impertinent to Mr. Heaslop, who had never done him harm, but here was an Anglo-Indian who must become a man before comfort could be regained. He did not mean to be greasily confidential to Miss Quested, only to enlist her support, nor to be loud and jolly toward Professor Godball. A strange quartet. He fluttered to the ground, she puzzled by the sudden ugliness. Ronnie fuming. The Brahmin observing all three, but with downcast eyes and hands folded, as if nothing was noticeable. A scene from a play, thought Fielding, who now saw them from the distance across the garden, grouped among the blue pillars of his beautiful hall. "Don't trouble to come up, Mother," Ronnie called. "We're just starting." Then he hurried to Fielding, drew him aside, and said with a pseudo-heartiness, "I say, old man, do excuse me, but I think perhaps you oughtn't to have left Miss Quested alone." "I'm sorry. What's up?" replied Fielding, also trying to be genial. "Well, I'm the sun-dried bureaucrat, no doubt. Still, I don't like to see an English girl left smoking with two Indians." She stopped as she smokes by her own wish, old man. Yes, that's all right in England. I really can't see the harm. If you can't see, you can't see. Can't you see that fellow's a bounder? Aziz, flamboyant, was patronizing Mrs. Moore. He isn't a bounder, protested Fielding. His nerves on edge, that's all. What should have upset his precious nerves? I don't know. He was all right when I left. Well, it's nothing I've said Ronnie reassuringly. I never even spoke to him. Oh, well, come along now and take your ladies away. The catastrophe's over. Fielding, don't think I'm taking it badly or anything of that sort. I suppose you won't come on to the polo with us. We should all be delighted. I'm afraid I can't, thanks all the same. I'm awfully sorry you feel I've been remiss. I didn't mean to be. So the leave-taking began. Everyone was cross or wretched. It was as if irritation exuded from the very soil. Could one have been so petty on a Scottish moor or an Italian Alp? Fielding wondered afterwards. There seemed no reserve of tranquillity to draw upon in India. Either none or else tranquillity swallowed up everything, as it appeared to do for Professor Godbole. Here was Aziz, all shoddy and odious, Mrs. Moore and Miss Quested both silly, he himself and Heaslop both decorous on the surface, but detestable really, and detesting each other. Goodbye, Mr. Fielding, and thank you so much. What lovely college buildings. Goodbye, Mrs. Moore. Goodbye, Mr. Fielding. Such an interesting afternoon. Goodbye, Miss Quested. Goodbye, Dr. Aziz. Goodbye, Mrs. Moore. Goodbye, Dr. Aziz. Goodbye, Miss Quested. He pumped her hand up and down to show that he felt at ease. You'll jolly well not forget those caves, won't you? I'll fix the whole show up in a jiffy. Thank you. Inspired by the devil to a final effort, he added, What a shame you leave India so soon. Oh, do reconsider your decision. Do stay. Goodbye, Professor Godbole, she continued, suddenly agitated. It's a shame we never heard you sing. I may sing now, he replied, and did. His thin voice rose and gave out one sound after another. At times, there seemed rhythm. At times, there was the illusion of a Western melody. But the ear, baffled repeatedly, soon lost any clue, and wandered in a maze of noises, none harsh or unpleasant, none intelligible. It was the song of an unknown bird. Only the servants understood it. They began to whisper to one another. The man, who was gathering water chestnuts, came naked out of the tank, his lips parted with delight, disclosing his scarlet tongue. The sounds continued and ceased after a few moments as casually as they had begun, apparently half through a bar, and upon the subdominant. Thanks so much. What was that? Asked Fielding. I will explain in detail. It was a religious song. I placed myself in the position of a milkmaiden. I say to Shri Krishna, come to me only. The god refuses to come. I grow humble and say, do not come to me only. Multiply yourself into 100 Krishnas, and let one go to each of my 100 companions. But one, O Lord of the universe, come to me. He refuses to come. This is repeated several times. The song is composed in a raga appropriate to the present hour, which is the evening. But he comes in some other song, I hope, said Mrs. Moore gently. Oh, no, he refuses to come, repeated Godbole, perhaps not understanding her question. I say to him, come. He neglects to come. Ronnie's steps had died away, and there was a moment of absolute silence. No ripple disturbed the water. No leaf stirred. And we'll pause here and go on with Chapter 8 in the next video. Please like, subscribe. leave a comment below. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. As Tigger says, ta-ta for now.